No, it's not all day. October 12:30. It's all right after that. Yes.
We're gonna come out with it in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what?
All right.
It's all this. It's all.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, Mrs. Schroeder, how are you?
Fine, Dr. Stickberg, and yourself. You can see who's in the
Just
background.
peachy. All right, Mr. Hughes. I got you ready to get started again. What? Thanks for staying. Okay. Pardon? We'll call the public hearing to order. We're open, I need a motion to open the public hearing and vote for the budgets and plans.
So then,
Second. It's been moved by Mrs. Jackman and seconded by Mr. Sickford. Any comments? Not a vote.
I gotta do the presentation.
Okay.
I like how you're thinking, but I do have to do the presentation.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. All right, you have it obviously in your packet, but also it's up there for the slides. This part of the budget hearing will deal with the education fund, the debt service fund, and the operations. As you can see, the education fund is state income tax and sales tax. The debt service is property tax and miscellaneous tax. The operations fund is paid for out of property tax and miscellaneous tax. And the rainy day fund is just local transfers. The educational fund for this year, we have, once again, this is a budget advertisement. We always advertise high, knowing that the DLGF, Department of Local Government and Finance, will probably lower it. But our budget advertised for 23-24 is $14,400,000. The educational fund. What comes out of those education funds expenses? Obviously, the most important is our teacher and building salaries. Teacher building benefits, property and casualty insurance, teacher building health care insurance, school building technology, school building supplies, and other miscellaneous. The tuition support and student enrollment comes out of the education fund. So when we say that students in seats is what pays teacher salary, this is a direct result. The complexity grant, and its current rate is at 68% for RCS. The academic honors grant, those students who own those two highest degrees, is $1,000 per student. The special education grant, its count day will be December 1st, 2023. Other classes, vocational ed grant, range between $250 to $450 per class. So dual credit enrollment, that's where we get those CTE dollars. Prime time grant, kindergarten added to tuition support. Miscellaneous revenue, Part B of the reimbursement, when we offer summer school, other grants, and other reimbursements. The next is, if you look at your, excuse me, can you double check here? Not yet. But if you look here, we set our ADM at 1,876 students. The black numbers there are based off of previous enrollments, and as you can see, last year we were at 1870, so we set our ADM at 1876. I sure hope we accomplish that this year. So the basic grant is $13,609,073. So per student, that is $7,254. The honors grant, we're looking at reimbursing of $35,600. And the special ed grant, $1,477,355. The state tuition is now, it has been raised per the past legislature to $8,283. So that gets us $15,540,230, which is a total increase of $827,219. So that's why it's very important that we hit that 1876. If we get 50 plus more students, that would be 1926. You can see that would put in an additional $1.2 million. But the sky is not falling if we are minus 50 students. And that's a number we don't want to talk about. We will still be plus 411,747. So obviously our revenues and our students go hand in hand, so we definitely need to keep all students.
Is the 1440 the basic grant?
Yes.
Where are we at student-wise as of today?
We're at 1845. So, as you can see, the difference in the dollar amounts from 2023 to 2024 puts us in a positive, and any additional student above the 1850 would increase our revenue. So we are hoping for that. The next fund is the debt service fund. Payments for long-term building debt, interest on long-term building debt, and textbook technology unreimbursable, which is being removed per the governor's order in state legislature. So if you look at the yellow tab on yours is the debt service fund. You look at our AV, just got these numbers certified. Last year we were estimating just at over $1 billion. The AV went up 12.4% from last year. So it was 18%, and then it went up another 12.4%. So we're well over $1 billion of assessed value. Because we've had assessed value go up that much, it also adds more money into our operations fund. So to be a little conservative, we used $1.1 billion. We also advertised this at we advertised it at 32 cents. Last year it was at 53 cents. So with the AV goes up, we can see a decrease in taxes. So if you look at between, we'll go on with operations fund, which is 0300, deals with technology, maintenance of technology, building repairs, capital projects, utilities, those are our major ones, purchase of equipment, sports facility, which is only at a 5% of the CPF, transportation, and buses. If you look at the operations fund here, there is the tradition from 2018 down to 2023. Right now, with a proposed AV of over $1.1 billion, setting it at 53 cents, which will equal $6,115,000 for 2023 The revenue to spend from the education fund is $2 million that we can transfer 15% into if we ever needed to. We have that resolution, but we don't want to. The proud thing that I would love to report here, if you look at the last in the bottom part. Last year, our tax rate was at 81 cents, and it was in the bottom 25% in the state. We are wanting to set the tax rate at 78 cents. So we're going to see a drop in the tax rate, but an increase in funding because of the assessed value in Rush County. Mr. Amos, that is my presentation for the transportation, debt service, and education fund. Operations fund, debt service, and education.
At this time, the floor will be open to board and public comments. We'll go with the board first. Any comments?
Have we ever moved that $2 million from the education fund to operations?
We have not. We took about 500,000 one time, twice. So we moved about $1 million, but at two different times to meet payroll until we received our payment, and we put it back.
So we have a permanent.
Yes.
We have a subsidized
No.
the operations, but it's not used as the cash flow. And no intention to do that now, correct?
Any public comment? Good. This is the second step in a three-step adoption process. On October 3rd, we will request board approval for the advertised budget. The rest of the packet is just supporting documents.
Just want to remind everybody that we budget high to maximize our revenue. And once the budget is finalized in the Department of Government and Finance, they could lower it even more. As of right now, we are lowering the tax rate, but generating revenue, there could be some more movement at the DLGF. We think we're pretty close to hitting it on the line. You'll just need to make a motion to move this program.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion by Mrs. Jackson, second by Mrs. Kinnon, to close the hearing. We need to vote on that.
Yes.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll have a public hearing for capital projects. We need to have a motion to open.
So moved.
So moved, but I don't think we have to vote on it.
All
To
right.
open it, we don't have to vote to open it, just a motion.
It's been moved by Mr. Sickford, Dr. Sickford, seconded by Mr. Lyman, to open the public hearing.
All right, thank you, Mr. Amos. Presentation we made concerning the capital projects fund and plan for 2023 through 2025. If you'll please go to the fluorescent green tab. As you will see, we follow the law and sent notice to taxpayers. Next page is the capital projects that we will be spending over the next 3 years. This is a capital in nature that exceeds over $10,000, and we are expected to begin starting the next 3 years of some projects. These projects have nothing to do with the advertised budget. These are items that can be paid for out of these funds: ESSER funds, rainy day, GO bond, operations fund, or grants. Like I said, there is, just for information and planning purposes, we can add to it, but this has nothing to do with the advertised budget. Can you make a motion for capital projects? But,
We have to control
oh, yeah,
public comment.
Yeah, is there any public comment on this? Any board comment on this?
When is all this planning to take place?
over the calendar year.
This calendar year.
Any other comments?
I've been on the board for about 10 years, and I believe our building, our facilities are significantly better than they were 10 years ago. Tax rate is lower than it was 10 years ago. And once we get the RCS projects done. There should be an enviable position without having seen much change or seen no change in the increase in the tax rate. So I am pleased with the time I've been on the board, we've been able to shepherd the dollars, fix up the buildings, and I'm very pleased that we've been able to do it.
More comments? Any motion? Close this hearing.
So moved.
Been moved by Mrs. Jackman, seconded by Mr. Banks. Close the hearing. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Motion carries. And we'll have a public hearing on the school bus replacement plan. I need a motion to open this.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, you got a motion? Say something.
All righty. If you will go to the light blue tab of your packet, the first page is the public notice to taxpayers. The next page is our bus replacement plan. This stretches out 2024 through 2028. I'm very pleased, not to overspeak Mr. Peters, but our buses are in such great shape. We are very lucky to have two great mechanics who take care of our buses, and Stan and Jamie. And we sold off a couple of buses. We don't feel like if we need to purchase anything, it'll be the mini buses. Those things are so, I think they're, 18 months out?
If not more. For some reason, they stopped making the chassis for that particular, it doesn't make sense because it's the most coveted rolling vehicle in the country. Yeah, we're gonna get them the second we can get them because we're financially able to do so. And the buses are in immaculate condition. We're monitoring how many new bus drivers we can get and also how many bus drivers retire. It kind of has an impact on when we sell off buses or how many buses we keep on spare. Had multiple conversations with Stan about that, and our bus replacement plan reflects just managing our quantity we need for the county.
Once again, this is just for planning purposes. We don't anticipate having to buy anything but mini buses here in the foreseeable future. That is my presentation for the bus replacement plan.
So what's a mini bus typically run? Because I'm assuming these are for a full-size bus.
Yes, but the cost of the minibuses went up. I think it went up from about 70,000 to now is over 100,000. It's pretty wild. Because they know that
Foolproof or what?
well, there's also the debate of whether you rig the mid-bus with stop arms and all the bells and whistles, so it's suitable for roadside pickup, or you just have a mid-bus that's, for athletic trips. It's a standard issue, so that impacts the cost of the engine. It's unfortunate, but we're financially able. We're going to get to the moment we can, but it's going to be a bit.
Will they be the sidearms that do pickups, or? is it
That
just
wasn't my
athletic?
plan, but if as we investigate when we officially order it, we can take a look at what we need. We feel like that helps the district pick up a particular population of geography kids.
There's a lot of those big buses that take individual students places sometimes.
Yeah.
Might not be a bad idea to price one,
Yeah.
because there's no sense in sending out a big bus burning a lot of fuel for 2 or 3 students.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing it if they take that long to get. Able to be utilized versus using a big bus.
The other part too, I believe if you rig it with a stop arm, then it requires the driver to have additional certifications that an athletic coach just driving a typical mid-bus can drive just the standard issue road vehicle. So, just things to consider.
What's the mileage difference between the minibuses and a big bus? I'm sure the.
I can't answer that. I'll look into it for you.
Ask Stan.
I don't think any of them are very good.
Well, that's
I think
the
they're
point.
single digits.
Yeah, I mean, does it make any much of a
So if
difference?
it doesn't make a difference.
Right.
Why
But
don't
if
we
it's
just-
mini Prius. It's not?
No.
Right.
Is there any public comment on this? If not, I need a motion.
Move to close.
Second.
Got a motion from Dr. Sickford, second by Mrs. Jackman, to close the hearing. Any comments? Not, we'll vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Motion, I move to adjourn the public hearing.
Second.
Unless we do need to vote on. We do need to vote.
We have a motion to adjourn the public hearing, made by Mrs. Jackman, seconded by Mr. Banks. Any comments? If not, we'll vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Mr. Jameson.
All right. Getting to the consent items for this evening. I'll get down to the bottom on the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, personnel report and contracts. Number 3, out-of-state and overnight field trips. RCHS FFA overnight trip October 13th through the 15th, 2023 to the FFA Leadership Center in Trafalgar, Indiana. Also the RCHS FFA overnight trip November 10th through the 12th, once again to the FFA Leadership Center in Trafalgar. And the third one is the RCHS FFA overnight trip October 20th and 21st at Benton County in Oxford, Indiana for the state soils judging. Number 4 will be donations. I'm very pleased to have the community support, $500 from Coing Equipment to the RCHS FFA account, $1,000 from the RCCF/RCS Legacy Fund to Milroy Elementary, $1,000 from the RCCF/RCS Legacy Fund to Benjamin Rush Middle School, $200 from the Rush Shelby Energy to the RCHS Lions Pride account, $50 from Still Stylish Consignment to the RCHS Class of 2027 account. And also, Doc mentioned it earlier, but thank you to the ARC of Rush County for a check of $6,400 to special education and needs services here at Rush County Schools. I seek the board's approval for the August minutes, claims and payroll, personnel report, and donations as stated.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Mrs. Jackman, seconded by Mr. Banks. We approve all these. Any comments? If not, we'll vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Item B on the agenda, the approval of the collection development plan for Rush County School libraries. I'm seeking the board's approval for the updated Rush County Schools library collection and development plan. Per state law, each school corporation needed to have an updated collection development plan in place by January 1st of 2025. Ms. Monk has worked extremely hard to get this policy in place, and I appreciate her diligence. We have sent the document to Mrs. Amy Matthews, legal counsel for Rush County Schools, and she has approved our policy, and it meets the new guidelines. I've included in your packet this policy for your review before the school board meeting this evening. I seek the board's approval of the collection development plan for Rush County School Libraries.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Lyman, seconded by Mr. Banks, that we approve the development plan for the school libraries. Any comments? If not, we'll vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, item C, approval of donation to Mohanning Valley. Is it Mohanning? Mohan. Thank you. Seeking the board's approval for a donation of a floor cleaner to the Mohanning Valley Camp. The floor cleaner is at the end of its service life. We're going to get very little out of it in the trade-in. We thought it'd be good and best to donate to a service organization within our community. This is kind of new territory because usually we just obsolete and demolish equipment, but this still has a little bit of life to it, and we thought it would, and Mr. Brabsher, I appreciate him speaking up, saying we can give it to them, and it would help that organization out tremendously. So just seek your approval for that donation.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Banks, seconded by Mrs. Coon, that we donate the floor cleaner to Mahoney Valley. Any comments?
I know FFA had their kickoff meeting out there this year. That's the first time they've done it off-site, and it seemed to go very, very well. And so hopefully, I think some of the staff works out there that, you know, we can have some collaborations and utilize their facility for some other things as well. But it was neat.
Didn't know that.
They had a pool, they had mudslide, they could fish, they could canoe, they did all kinds of stuff out there. It was neat.
Any other comments? If not, we'll vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. I'm very pleased to announce that Rush County Schools has received a $400,000 grant through the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which will provide funding for critical mental health services for students throughout the district. The Stronger Connections Award is meant to help fund staff and services that will aid students as they navigate through mental health challenges and ultimately help them be successful in school. Our goal for this grant are as follows: to increase student attendance, to decrease the amount of student suspensions, to increase parent involvement, and obviously provide student mental health support and counseling. I would like to thank Mrs. Schroeder. She and I have been working on this. We have partnered with Skybound. They helped us write the grant with it being a federally funded grant. They put $2 billion aside for this, so we were lucky to get $400,000. We feel it's going to make a huge impact in our school corporation. So you don't need to vote on anything. I'm just informing you that we're the recipients of a $400,000 grant, and we are very excited. We met with Mrs. Kramer this morning and started putting stuff in place to spend money wisely to support our students and staff. Letter E is a construction update. We are very pleased that the first round of construction projects that were started this past March are near the completion. We have conducted the final walkthrough with Performance Services as they are working on the final punch list items. On Monday, August 28th, we held our first meeting with VPS Architects to start the conversation with RES. We have another meeting scheduled on September 12th. Mr. Link from VPS Architects will be on site on a date and time to be determined in the future to meet with grade level teachers to go through the drawings and discuss ideas and needs. So the first couple rounds has been with administration and a few members of the board. The next rounds will be with teachers so that they will have input as the drawings are starting to get refined. It's kind of like working clay. You have so much money and, okay, we can do this, we can do that. But obviously we definitely want to have teacher input and that will come. And then we'll have a final work session where we'll have teachers and you guys to make the final, as we start putting stuff out for bid. So, a great step forward. Was also pleased to report to you that the Teacher Evaluation Committee met last Tuesday to go over the final version of the handbook and the rubric. The handbook was shared out with the entire staff on Wednesday, and the principals will be going over the handbook and the rubric with staff in the upcoming PLC meetings. So we have taken a great step forward. I never wanted to be that type of a building principal, nor did I ever want to be that type of a teacher that I always felt that got you. I was getting, you were getting got and getting knocked down on. This is a coaching book. It falls right in line with our HRS. It's a working document. We can better coach and teach our teachers to become the best that they can be. There's just not enough teachers out there to begin with. We need to keep and train our teachers to be the best that they can be. So just want to give you an update on that. Also, Mr. Peters and I have been working on a 2-year calendar. We will get with the teachers union here during this month, and hopefully by the next October board meeting, we will bring to you a 2-year calendar. We got some ideas. We want to pitch some stuff and have some teacher input on it as well. And it's going to be a little different maybe. So we want to move forward with that because I know a lot of people are like my wife and plan way out in advance for vacations, and that's what she lives for. So, Mr. Peters, I'm going to turn it over to you. The award for the diesel fuel bid for 23-24.
Yeah, as indicated in your packet, we're going with Co-Alliance for our diesel fuel bid this year. They were the lowest bid, A, and then also had some in-depth conversations about the quality of fuel being delivered. The requirement was a 50 cetane rating. To be honest with you, I didn't know what that meant. Just learning what it means. It provides a better environment for our diesel engines of our buses. It runs cleaner and allows them to last longer. All the gaskets and seals provides a better option there. Also have to consider in the winter months that an additive is provided so that way the fuel doesn't freeze in the tank. That was included in the bid. And after looking at the 4 bids that we had, Co-Alliance was our best option. Doesn't mean they'll be the best option next year, but for this year they were. And diesel fuels went up since we bid, so that's funny. But nonetheless, we're confident in the customer service that we're going to get with Co-Alliance and also with the price and quality of the product. So recommend the board that we move forward with them. And you guys can, is that a vote?
Yeah.
I'll also tell you that I personally notified every other bidder that did not get the bid. They were notified by phone, and they also have now received a letter in the mail. I sent it out last week for the records, and everything's continuing. It's just going through the process.
I move that we approve the diesel fuel bid from Co-Alliance.
Second.
It's been moved by Mrs. Jackman, seconded by Mr. Banks, that we approve the fuel bid to Co-Alliance for the diesel fuel bid for 23-24. Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Item I is the course and door access. Course and security will be updating our building access through a keyless entry as part of our security upgrades. This will put all of our buildings on one system. We currently are operating under 2 different systems, and door access at Milroy's is outdated, and we can no longer get keys, key fobs. So we have staff who have no access to our building because the system is outdated and we cannot purchase any keys. The upgrades will be done as soon as possible. This in Milroy is put towards tops so we can get people into the building. But we will be under one system for the corporation, updated alarming, and also mobile phone access that the principals, Officer Bridges, if someone needs to get access to a building, we can pop a door, we can unlock a door. From an ECA standpoint, if you have FFA event, he can set the door to be unlocked from this time to this time and then locks back. Because 9 times out of 10, what usually happens if you unlock So it's nice to have a schedule. We will be trained on this. We're not just getting something and not training our people on how to properly use it. Mrs. Marlowe can set the schedule for athletic events, when to lock and unlock. We don't have to go around keys, so it'll be very nice additive, and we'll get that done as soon as possible.
Will this also be the glass entries to the hallways at RES?
No,
That
they,
included?
we will eventually, what eventually will
That
happen,
was
we will be taking everyone's outside master key to get in the building. They will need to fob it in. They'll have a badge with their name, address. So those doors at RES on either side, you can hit it and it'll unlock it. What was installed on Friday was there that the secretary, the students walking through the hallway, the secretary could hit the button.
To let them
to
go
let
through
them
those
go
new
through. Yeah.
glass, go
Glass
to the classrooms, okay.
Yep.
I just noticed that those.
That took a long time because
Yeah.
that was approved back in June and we finally just got it installed this past Friday. They are great guys. They came at 3:30 on Friday of a holiday weekend, and I can't speak enough about Reverend Runabout, who stayed after and made sure everything was great. So hats off to him.
How are the ones at Milroy bad, but not the ones at Arlington? Did they have, those are built at the same time, did they have different door systems?
Different operating systems because we piecemeal stuff
That's
together.
the dumbest.
Same with the phone system. I'd like to give you another I'm just full of updates right now. Nope. This is just for your information. ERS wireless update, the new district-wide radios with 3 repeaters throughout the county. We currently only have 1. Will be installed in northern Rush County, Rushville, and southern Rush County to provide coverage for our buses and administrators. Our new radio system will be installed over fall break, and training on the radios will occur the week that everybody gets back. Once again, the key part is training. I know it's simple about a radio, but in a panic time, people get going and you don't let off the button and how to properly scan, use the radio, different channels. So they're high-tech tools and we want to use them properly. Isn't that right, Officer Bridges? I see you smiling over there.
He's smiling at me, because we've had that conversation today.
Where's your repeaters at?
They're on towers. The one here in Rushville is off the police station, so thank you to Chief Tucker. The one in northern Rush County is up by Mays, and the other one is in Milroy. So high enough, scan, so we're excited. Also, very pleased to report is we're upping our security and safety for our students. We do have camera coverage on Sexton Street and Lions Path. Those new cameras will be installed to help protect our students who travel between the high school and the FFA Center and the high school and the Memorial Gym. These cameras will have facial recognition and license plate readers. So it'll be a major safety upgrade that needed to happen. Cameras will be installed over fall break, and we're just waiting on a few parts to be delivered. We will also have, this will be also accessed in the police station. So if a predator is on our campus and hit by those cameras, they will be notified, and then a visit will ensue. We do not want those type of people around our students, and it won't take long for that word to get out. And I'm pleased to report it tonight that it's coming. So, another quick thing, wanted to update you on under other. Once again, hats off to Mr. Schroeder and Officer Bridges. We started on this journey back in January of an app called Stop It. And I've got a couple videos I want to play for you. But this is just another layer of school safety for our students and staff. As we are establishing the Lions way of see something, say something, do something, we are empowering our students to take an active role in stopping bullying, safer and mental health for our students through this app. I would like I said, thank Officer Bridges and Mrs. Schroeder for helping me work with our service center to bring Stop It app to Rush County schools free of charge. The administrative team is in the final stages of preparing and being trained, and we will roll this out to our students and parents within the next week or so. I'm going to show you 2 quick videos.
Services here at Carmel Place Schools. We are excited to introduce to you our new two-way anonymous reporting tool called Stop It. The Stop It app is a tool that empowers any student to anonymously report school safety issues and reach out for help if they or peers opens the app and enters their unique school code. To report an incident, it's as easy as clicking on the report icon. Students can report as much detail as they would like and can even include screenshot photos and videos. Students can choose to disclose their name or be left completely anonymous. Once the student clicks the submit button, a team of school administrators and SROs receive the message in real time and begin to take the appropriate action. One of the benefits of this app is that it allows for two-way communication. School administrators and SROs may respond directly to the student who submitted the message, acknowledging their report and asking any additional follow-up questions if needed. Another unique feature of the Stop It app is the Get Help icon. This feature will direct the students to our district website where they can find contact information for local law enforcement, mental health centers, crisis hotlines, and additional resources. Students are the #1 factor in school safety. You are the eyes and ears of what is happening before, during, and after school. Offering the Stop It app to our students is one of the many ways we are enhancing our layers of school safety and encouraging a see something, say something, do something school culture. Please take time now and download the Stop It app so if you see something, you can do something to help.
Back in the day, we had a few bullies at school, but they didn't follow you into your home. Today, with these loaded weapons, they follow you 24/7, 365. Technology has brought bullying to a place we never could have imagined.
Police say it was a cyberbullying suicide.
Her life after getting bullied relentlessly by kids
An
on the
Ottawa teen
internet.
suicide is putting the spotlight back on school bullying.
The suicide of a 13-year-old girl took her own life.
Amanda Todd, teenager from Canada, took her own life.
As an administrator, trying to protect students, the biggest challenge is that we simply don't know what's happening. Students have created an insular world inside of social media. We can say good morning to someone who's walking into school and never know what kind of torment that child or teenager may be enduring or what's on their mind. The genius of Stop It is that kids are giving us a window into that world in a way that we can intervene and protect at-risk children.
Hello, this is Derek Jeter. In the game of life, just like the game of baseball, great defense helps win the game. And defense is a team effort. That's why the Jeters leaders, the Turn 2 Foundation, and I have joined the fight to stop bullying and cyberbullying. Every one of you can be a game changer. Stand up and stop it.
As a police officer on the Stop It outreach team, I know the importance of data and information in any investigation. Stop It was designed with both a simple and intuitive interface for students, but also a powerful back-end dashboard for administrators. Students can capture events, whether in the real world or online, and report them easily and even anonymously. Administrators receive alerts and can catalog activity for monitoring, disciplinary action, and even law enforcement when required. Stop It was designed with everyone in mind, to protect students, to protect schools, and to protect communities. Implementation is simple, and results are almost immediate.
The minute we implemented Stop It, the deterrence factor caught us by surprise. All of us expected that the app would be instrumental in reporting incidences of bullying and cyberbullying, which it's done. What we didn't expect is the fact that simply implementing the system and promoting it amongst the students would have such a powerful effect of deterrence. Because of Stop It, now bullies can't operate without there being consequences. And as we know, most bullies are cowards. Stop It stands up to those individuals so there are fewer incidences and victims in the first place.
There is no parent, no teacher, no school administrator who doesn't want to protect kids from the terrible and too often tragic effects of bullying. And while bullying has always been around, social media, mobile phones, texting, and social apps have taken the problem to a point of crisis in our country. At Stop It, we realize that technology has created this problem and that technology can solve it. Join us in teaming up to stop bullies in their tracks. Protect our kids, protect our schools, protect our communities and our families. Find out more about how you can stop it.
As you can see by the last few points in tonight's report, we are taking school safety very seriously here at Rush County Schools. We have a lot of work to do. There is nothing that is 100% bulletproof. But I am pleased to report that we have made great progress in a short amount of time to provide a safe and collaborative environment for all of our students and staff. I just felt it was important to share with you and our community the steps that we have taken over the last couple months to keep our students and our community safe. That is the end of my report.
Okay. Important dates, October 2nd, Scout Day, really important day. You said where numbers are a little low right now, what makes you think they might get back up to that?
We're going to grab everybody off the street. No, I think, there has always been movement. We're seeing a lot of teachers move right now as well. Sometimes that grass is not always greener on the other side, and they want to come back home to us. So I applaud the state in waiting until October 2nd so that those people can go test the waters if they want to go somewhere else with school choice, and hopefully they come back to us when they find out that Rush County Schools is doing a great job.
Okay. Next regular board meeting is October 3rd, 7 o'clock here. And that'll be the adoption of the 2024 budgets.
Yes. 6:30.
6:30?
6:30.
Gotcha.
Administrative report.
6:30.
Mr. Peters.
Yep. I'll make this quick so we can get on with this. Transportation, just highlight a couple things. We went through our first vehicle inspection from our state trooper that oversees transportation. Went past flying colors. I will give credit to Stan and Jamie for the great service that they do to the vehicles. They're amazing. We also hosted our first drug testing. That's based on quarters of the year. Everyone's in compliance. We're legal. Everyone's safety out there, and it's great as far as drug testing can go. So done. Custodial. The biggest hurdle that I see is maintaining full staffing. And as the moment I wrote this note to you guys, we were fully staffed. We're still looking at that. It changes by the day. Trying to make sure all our different facilities are covered. But as far as the people that are doing it, we're having great results, and we're just monitoring and try to tweak and do better. Just if anything comes up, I ask our building just to communicate to us. Lastly, on operations, I have several projects listed that we're working on, that we're monitoring, whether we're talking with vendors or talking with our current maintenance staff to get that done. We're pushing the norm on trying to be innovative, trying to be cost effective, trying to be efficient, and try to get these things done. And you can see we have a punch list now for our performance services project. Happy to report that we're almost done with all that. Also, the softball field drainage, got a quote on that. On the tile part, they also, remember, for those of you who showed up, they're going to bring in new dirt material and laser that off. That'll be another quote that I'll share, or that Jim can share with the board. And then just the other things going on there. So you can reference that in operations, and we're rolling.
Performance services do heat walls for contingency fund.
Yes.
At this point.
Yes, even though they tried to take it on multiple occasions. But yes,
Okay,
yes.
I'm just asking. Good.
I get it. I get it. It's competitive nature. You want to keep it. You got to do it. Okay. So yes. We got a lot of momentum, we're rolling. School year got started, and kudos to bus drivers and all the staff for helping to get going. So, we're good.
Mrs. Kramer?
The first thing is, Indiana Trust, we gained over 13,700 in interest again. So that puts us almost to 72,000 overall. For payroll, we are working on getting all of our payroll employees in the system. We still have quite a few more to put in for the next payroll. We have basketball coaches or any of the parent sports coaches to get entered for that payroll. And the other thing is, I just want to praise the two gals that work in our office because they have been putting in a lot of hours and trying to keep caught up as much as we can in training.
You need to take a pat on the back too, because you've put in a ton of hours, both here and at home.
Yes.
Don't think it has not gone unnoticed, so thank you.
Last meeting, I said something about taking a look at investing some of our rainy day funds into that account. Have you looked
Right
at that?
now, we're using a lot of rainy day funds before we sell the bonds for 23 GO.
Okay.
Once we replenish those, once the bonds get sold in that process, it's about that thick right now. We have a rating call coming up here about mid-September. Once that money comes in, when we put money back in the rainy day, we can possibly spend that. We're getting great interest right now. We started March 17th, and we're over $72,000 in interest.
Where's that business been?
Haven't spent it yet.
So is it being reinvested in the funds? Is it coming to rainy day? Is that the checking account?
Right now, before it was just sitting in a bank account gaining nothing. And since we put it in trust Indiana, obviously the more you put in, the more interest it gains, the faster.
So the interest that we're gaining, is it just staying in there?
Just staying in there.
Okay.
Until we have a need. We got bargaining season coming and some other things that we want to use those funds. We can, as long as we put it in by 4 o'clock on the night, it'll be in our account, 8 o'clock the next morning to use.
So it's just staying in
Just
that
staying
fund?
in that
They
fund.
haven't like transferred it to us?
And we're getting paid interest on our interest, correct? It's not just a sideline.
No, it's interest on our interest. Just let it sit there and eat.
Speaking of interest, we're interested in
Speaking
what
of
you have to
interest,
say.
speaking of money, I know it was really hot last week, but it was like Christmas in August for special services because of the ARC of Rush County. Fantastic monetary donation to us. And we're going to use the majority of that $6,400 to buy sensory equipment for Milroy, Arlington, and also at the middle school and high school. And that's going to be a great benefit. But also a portion of that, all of our special education teachers will get a gift card for $200 to purchase items for their classrooms for students to use, for sensory items and things that's going to benefit all students. And for our new special education teachers, they get $300. So it's going to be Christmas again when we pass those out. And I know they're going to be very excited. And it's fantastic to have that support in Rush County.
Yeah, and that gives the teachers is on top of the system.
Right, that's on top of that. So,
Oh, wow.
very nice. So,
We have money sitting around and we're starting to spell out the expenses we have.
hey, and we'll take any we can get. All right. But thank you for Dr. Sickford to meet with me and then taking that to the ARC, Rush County. And going along with all the sensory in the next legislative period that's coming up for the state government, and we had it was a statewide meeting for special ed directors, and they are looking at a possible 5% cut in Medicaid, and that's going to affect all of our students that are served by ABA therapy. And that would be here in Rushville, ACE and Beyond the Label. And it's applied behavioral analysis, and a lot of our autistic students, they participate in that, and they have one-to-one aids and so forth. And they have commercials on the radio right now about call the governor about this. And that's going to affect a lot of our students that would go through. And I've already talked with Ms. Schroeder, and she's already got a great idea to maybe help us cover that if that would happen. And that would be something to look out for. But I just want to thank all of our special education teachers, our new ones and our older ones, for a great job this school year. We've had some IIEP issues, and they've been working through that. And a huge thank you to Brevin for listening to me every day, telling all the students I can't get in there, and usually by the next morning he has them in there. For a guy that's getting married here pretty soon, he's doing a good job. So, and I just really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, good evening, everyone. Our pre-application, which is due every year, has been approved. Woo-hoo, that's always a good thing for me. That's a pretty long report. Our title grants have been submitted. We are waiting to hear on those. We're just at the mercy of when the DOE gets all of those finished. I have, with the help of Mr. Anderson, written a grant for training for our special education paras. We haven't heard yet on that one, so keep your fingers crossed, because it would be nice to be able to give those individuals some support. ESSER 2 will be fully expended by the end of this month. And so then the only ESSER grant that is left is ESSER 3, and that runs until September of 2020. That's all I have in the area of grants. Any questions? I do want to thank Mrs. Kramer. I have to work very closely with her, and I'm constantly calling her and saying, well, now we need to do this in this grant, or this person gets paid out of that grant. Now we need to shuffle this person to that grant, and she's had a huge learning curve, and she's doing a great job. So I appreciate all of her help. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you, Ms. Schroeder.
Mrs. Winter,
She's probably out of the sporting teachers.
Are we finished here? Can we move to adjourn? I would like to